to all areas of life, including love and abundance. And in today's video, I want to actually talk to you about a really important concept that I don't really know if I've ever seen it talked about, let alone it not being talked about enough for sure. So I want to talk to you about this concept of the energy versus the physical world. And I started to talk about this on my Tuesday Facebook Live video that got erased. So I really did want to share this concept with you because it's actually it's a life-changing concept for sure. If you joined us, say hi. I'd love to say hello. So basically, the concept of energy versus physical, um, is basically one where, okay, so most of us, when we're going through the everyday world, we are looking at the physical. What do I mean by that? I mean, we're like, okay, this is going to be fun, this is not going to be fun, so I'm going to do this, or this is going to cause me some pain, so I'm not going to go in that direction. And that's a perfectly, obviously, normal, understandable way to live life, right? And it's the way most of us live because we are in this physical form. We came down in this physical form for a reason. And so that's awesome. And I want to propose to you something that is another way to look at your choices in your life. And that is actually the energetic way. And the energetic way is actually looking at, okay, what energy am I choosing in this moment? You might be going through some pain, but can you choose love? Can you can you have gratitude? Can you see the joy in that pain, right? Can you see the growth in that pain? And so let me give you a really simple example that will actually break this down really easily and help clarify any questions that are percolating there. And that example is all around, okay, so say you're going on a date with somebody, right? Or you're dating somebody. And like when you're going out with him, yeah, he might not be the forever guy, your forever girl. And yet you're like, okay, so in the physical, you might say, okay, I'm not going to date this person because I know that he's not the guy. I know he's not the person, right? So easy, makes sense, perfect sense. And if you look at it from the energetic perspective, right? So if you look at it from the energy, there might be many energies that are resonant with that you actually need to lean into that you're going to be able to access by dating this person, for instance, right? So for instance, if you go out with a guy and say he triggers you and you decide, because sometimes our triggers actually pull us in, but say you're in a healthy space and you're like, okay, I'm not going to date this person because he triggers me, right? Makes sense. But so many times we have to feel it to heal it, right? So we have to be able to feel something. So if someone's triggering you, and I've mentioned this before, but if someone's triggering you, you can actually, another way to look at it is you can lean into that trigger, right? You can actually lean into that piece and actually say, okay, I'm gonna actually use this to allow myself to feel it so that I can shift it, so that I can change it, so that I can heal it. But another piece of it, so okay, trigger is one piece why you might want to say, okay, I'm going to choose to date this person even though I know that they're not the one. Another piece of the energy though might be just that this person is going to help you to love more, right? They're going to help you to love yourself more. They're going to help you to love just love more, project that love, get in that vibration of love, and for you to clear out all the pieces of you that you don't love, right? So maybe if this person is really adoring and this person is really a loving being, and they're like, oh, they really adore you, and in the past, historically, maybe in dating, you haven't been adored, one reason why you might choose that in the short term is so that you can practice what it's like to be adored, right? Because once you get in the energy of something, whatever it is that you choose to be in the energy of, whatever it is that you choose to be in the vibration of, and when I say that, I mean basically we have these emotions stored in our body. So say if one of your emotions is that you criticize yourself a lot, right? You don't love yourself and you don't adore yourself enough, which, hey, we've all been there at some point in our life, right? So it gets stored in your body. Hi, Suzanne. Thanks so much for joining. So it gets stored in your body, this emotion, and then you become a magnetic for that emotion, for that vibration, right? And as you become this magnetizer for it, you keep attracting it. So if you've got somebody, we're talking about energy versus, and you were on the video, I think, so I think you might have seen this part, but it's cool to hear this concept because it's a really cool concept. So energy versus physical, right? And so if you have basically if you choose to date this person, even though you know he's not the person that you're going to end up with, so if you choose to date this person could help you to clear out that critical voice in you, right? That clear out that judgmental voice, especially if they have the ability to love you. So you might choose to date them or to be in their life for a short term, just so that you can help to actually access that piece, right? So that you can really, really, truly access that piece, so that you can actually really, truly clear that out, and you can start to vibrate from, I deserve people to love me. I deserve people to adore me. I mean, it's one way to clear the energy. It's one way to shift the energy. So really, point being is, so many times we look at things from the physical world and we say, okay, this is going to cause me pain, so you shut it down and you don't do it. And the reality of it is that if you choose it from the energy can help you to expand and grow as a soul, right? The title of this is Expansion and Growth Friday, right? So really choosing from that energy can help you to lean into things that maybe you might not like. Say if you decided in this example not to date this person, right? And you decided, you're like, okay, he's not the one, I'm not going to date him. It might take another year before you have someone like that comes in that can help you to access that. So you could either do it now, or you could put off the inevitable and really put off, what you're desiring, and wait another year, right? So I'm a firm believer in always leaning into, okay, this is here to help me to grow. This is here to help me to show me more of myself. This is here to help me heal. How can I actually lean into it? Even if it's something I know that's not permanent, even if it's something that I know might bring me some pain, even if it's something that I know may not be joyful in that initial place, how can I lean into this and really help me to grow as a being, grow as a soul, and at the end of the day, to get me closer and quicker to my end goal, my end point. So is there any questions? Like I know there's a couple of you guys on here, so if you have any questions, type them in or any comments or anything, type them in the comments below. And while you're doing that, I would say, what comes up for you? Is there an example in your life where you can where you can actually apply? This is, like I said, this is a big concept, right? So is there an example in your life where you can actually apply this in your everyday? Type below. Or alternatively, where do you want to start applying this? Right? So just notice, like, hey, maybe I do this in relationship, right? Or maybe you do it like in career, right? Like, I know recently I applied to do this program, to be a leader in this program, and I could, like, there's several ways I could look at the leader, right? So from the physical side in this situation, it looked really good. This is going to look really good on paper. Theoretically, it should draw in more of the people I'm wanting to attract in my coaching business, all of those pieces, right? So that's awesome, and that's in the physical world. In the energy world, though, I have to look at, am I in full alignment with this, right? Is this really, like, great? In physical form, this looks really great, right? It's like I said, I'm going to, like, be part of this group, and I'm going to help people speak their truth, like, which is definitely in alignment, and I'm going to be aligned with this coach. But in the energetic world, I have to really look and say, okay, does this really bring me joy? Does this make me excited? Am I truly aligned energetically? Because the first piece of creating anything that you want in your world is actually getting energetically aligned with it. And it doesn't have to be where you're physically aligned with it. So we look at it, most of us as humans look at it from the physical perspective, but if you can actually look at it from the energetic perspective and look at it from that perspective of, like, okay, wait, am I energetically aligned with this? Is this going to help me to step into more of myself? Is this going to help me expand as a being? Maybe is this going to bring me joy, or am I going to be contracted the whole time when I'm leading these circles? And if I'm going to be contracted in this situation, especially, it's like, why am I going to be contracted? Is it going to be because it's just not aligned, or am I going to be contracted because it's actually something I need to lean into because I'm scared of helping to facilitate others to speak their truth? And why am I scared? So that's kind of it's an interesting way to look at it, right? So sometimes we in the physical world go towards the joy, sometimes we go towards the success or the money, but if you're not actually in full alignment with it, outside of just, oh, this is going to make me a lot of money, which is a really common pattern, right? Because if you think about how many times most of us move towards, oh, this is going to be lucrative, but if you're actually not aligned with it, a piece of that is actually, it's not actually going to yield what you want it to yield. So it's just really, really interesting and really, really important to note, right? So like I said, if you have any questions, type them in the comments below, or just tag, type my name and tag me if you're watching this after, you're not watching it live and you're watching it after, and I will definitely answer your questions. But hopefully, if you can type in and just let me know if those examples helped you, right? If they're clear for you, that would be awesome. There's a couple people watching this live. That would be awesome. But either way, like I said, if you have questions, just start to practice this in your world, right? Am I fully aligned with this? What am I choosing right now? Am I choosing it because it's going to feel good in the physical, or am I looking at it from the energetic perspective? And are those aligned? And what is, quote unquote, in my highest good versus what is going to feel good? And sometimes those are aligned, which is awesome. And sometimes your highest good may not actually feel good. So in the meantime, I hope you have an awesome Friday. Thanks so much for joining, and awesome weekend. And FYI, if we're not Facebook friends, add me on Facebook. I just started, and I would love for you guys to be part of this. I just started a challenge, a share your heart, show your work challenge, and I would love for you guys to be part of that, because a lot of what I'm going to be doing in these videos is for me stepping out in a new way and sharing a lot of me in the pieces maybe I don't always share. I want to be sharing that in these videos. So I'd love to have you join me. In the meantime, have an awesome weekend. And I will talk to you next week. Thanks so much.